Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this YouTube channel. My name is Shola Adekunle, and on this day, which is my birthday, I'm giving you this gift of conversation on success systems. All right, so one of the things I've realized about life is that there are systems that guide certain things. When you see someone who is succeeding in an area of life, or you see someone who is doing something different, who is doing something amazing, one thing you should be sure of is that something is powering that thing. There is something behind it. Nothing just happens. That's the idea. Nothing just happens. Certain things make things happen. I will say that again. Nothing just happen. There are certain things that makes things happen. So it is not just about what is happening. It is about what is making that thing to happen. So that's where the idea of system comes in. Because when you look at success, we tend to ascribe it to luck. We ascribe it to being lucky. Let me just put it that way. Sometimes we say it's lucky, sometimes we say it's just an opportunity, it's just this, it's just that. We want to explain it away, or sometimes we say maybe it's the person's background, where the person came from, and all of that. But when it comes to success, one thing I would like us to understand is that there is a system around it. There are certain things that people do that makes them succeed. There are certain things that people do that makes them succeed. There are certain systems that when applied to your own life too, it guarantees success. And I have seen some of these systems in my own life. I've seen it most especially in the lives of other people. I've seen certain things that works. So, I've been able to break them down into five different systems, five guarantee systems that I know that if applied by anybody, and I mean anyone, success is a guarantee. So that's what I'll be sharing with us today. And like I said, that will be my gift, my birthday gift to you today on this conversation on success system. So what are these systems? Number one, let me start with what success is all about. We have different definition of success. Of course, it's not just about the money, it's not just about the fame, it's not just about the influence, it's not just about all of these good things and all of that. Yes, those are part of it, but success at its core has to do with fulfillment, has to do with you being able to achieve whatever goal you have set for yourself. In simple terms, success is simply achieving goals. When you've achieved a particular goal, we say you've been successful in that area. So that's what success is just all about. And what are these systems that guarantee success? I don't want to say too much. I just want to dive right into it. All right. So number one thing is physical systems that guarantee success. Success system. Five things I'll be sharing with us. And the number one thing is physical. The number one thing is physical. When you think of physical, you look at, okay, what do you mean by physical? So this is where I'm going. I remember while I was in secondary school, I used to have a friend who is really great at running. This guy runs a lot. Is so fantastic when it comes to sport. 100 meter, 200 meter, relay race, marathon, name it. Anything that has to do with running, this guy is up for it. He's really, really great. And so inter sport was fast approaching. We do inter sport, second term of the year, something like that, at the second term. So preparing for inter sport, this guy happens to be in my house, greenhouse, by the way. So shout out to anyone who is in greenhouse or who was at greenhouse during their secondary school days. So here's the point. This guy, he practices a lot and all of that, and then the entire sport was drawing closer and closer. We're about, I think, a week to the entire sport. This guy was preparing so much because, of course, he was the superstar of the house. Everybody depended on him. We knew that when it comes to race, when it comes to running, Greenhouse is going to take the first position in that aspect because we really, really so much rely on the guy. And the guy was so hardworking too. He was putting in all the effort and all of that. And about 2 days to the entire sport, our teachers, our trainers, they're just telling him, guy, I think you need to start resting now. They were telling him to rest. They were telling him to take some time, to be fine, to relax ahead of the day. But he wouldn't listen because he knew so much, expectation was placed on him. So he was rehearsing and rehearsing a day to the entire sport. This guy will not rest. He kept on rehearsing and rehearsing, even until the morning of the entire sport. He had no rest. He was just up for it, rehearsing and doing all of that. And when the time came, the main time that we have been waiting for, it was time to run. And of course, he came out representing Greenhouse. And unfortunately, to our greatest surprise, this guy was not the first position, he wasn't even the second position. He took third position in the race. And later, when we asked what happened, he said he was stressed out. Even before the race started, he was weak, he was stressed out. And then the teachers were like, we told you to rest, you kept on rehearsing and all of that. And unfortunately, the success he has been preparing so much to have, he couldn't have it. The success he has been preparing so much to achieve, he couldn't achieve it. Why? Because he neglected the physical aspect of it. You see, your physical body is part of the systems that guarantee success. You can't really be succeed at anything if you are not strong in your body, because it takes your body is what success needs. You drive success with your body. So our health, I see a lot of people who, in the bid to succeed, in the bid to be up and doing and all of that, we get engaged so much, we hardly have time to rest. We hardly have time to pay attention to our health. And so this is really, really important. So the first point is physical, and on this I'm talking about health now. Your physical body, pay attention to it. Another thing with physical is appearance. It's also under the physical systems that guarantee success. Your appearance, in the Bible, in 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 12, the scripture talks about David. We know the story when Prophet Samuel came to the house of Jesse to anoint one of the sons as instructed by the Lord to be the king. And in 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 12, conversations has been going on before then, and Prophet Samuel was saying, well, the Lord has not chosen any of these your sons. There's this another one that the Lord is interested in. And Jesus said, oh yeah, truly I had one, I had a boy, the last kid in the house and all of that. He's out there in the field tending the flock and all of that. So he said, okay, bring him. And specifically, 1 Samuel 16 verse 12, the scripture says that when David appeared, he was fine looking. His appearance was charming. And I kept on asking myself, someone who is coming from the field, how is he still good looking? How is he still fine? According to how the scripture has placed it. It shows how much preference that David placed on his appearance. See, there are people judge you. Let me just say it this way. People judge you first by what they see. Before they see the content that you carry, they see the container first. They see you as a person. So when it comes to success, your appearance matters. That's the point I'm making. Your appearance matters a lot. It matters a lot. The scripture says that, David was looking so radiant. He was looking fine. Was not scattered. We see so many people with head cases of people even go for interviews and they are not looking so well enough. So when it comes to success, certain things guarantee success. And trust me, part of it, the number one thing I'm sharing now is the physical aspect of it. And under physical, I've talked about health. Now I'm talking about your appearance. It is very, very important. You don't have to look expensive. You just have to look good. You don't have to look expensive. There are two different things. Just look good with whatever it is you have. Iron your clothes, brush your hair, comb your hair rather, brush your teeth and all of that. You know the necessary things to do. Smell nice, look good. Let your appearance be welcoming to your destiny helpers. Let your appearance be welcoming to people. That's how you attract success. That's how you attract success. You've got to look the part. So your appearance, it matters a lot. And the final thing I will be talking about under physical is your character. Character. Character, very, very important. A lot of people want to succeed in life. A lot of people want to achieve certain things, but they don't have the character for it. It is character that qualifies you for success. It is character that qualifies you for success. And even if you try to beat character and by crooked means you get into the system, or by crooked means you find your way in, character will flush you out. Character will fish you out and throw you outside the window. So character is really, really important. I remember when I was also in secondary school. I think I was just in GSS 1, and something happened. I had to run an errand for somebody, and I went to the cafeteria to buy food for the person specifically. And then they were I was supposed to collect change. Actually, I was supposed to collect change. So the woman who was selling the food, after selling the food to me, gave me change, and I went back to the person. I gave back the person who sent me on errand. I gave the person the food and the change. On counting the change, we realized that the change was more than what is required. So the woman, by mistake, I mean the food seller now, mistakenly gave me change like in excess. There was extra on it. So the person who sent me on errand said, you were supposed to collect this particular amount. You were given this amount. Go and return the extra on it, the extra change that I was given by the food seller. So, of course, character, character. I could have done anything with the money. First and foremost, the food seller did not even know that she gave me extra change, and I could go back and tell the person who sent me on errand that I've returned the change without returning it, and nothing would have happened. In fact, they wouldn't have even known what transpired. But character, integrity. These are part of things. Honesty. I took the change. I was so small, I was so young, I was just in JSS1. So I took the change back to the food seller and I approached our mommy, I bought food some couple of minutes ago, blah blah blah, and this. You gave me change and you gave me extra, you gave me excess change. So I've come to return the excess that you gave to me. The woman was shocked. Like she was shocked to the bone. Like, really? I was so small, so young. I could have done anything with the money. The woman looked at me and was like, really? You returned this change? Like, you could have bought anything with it. You could have buy sweet, you could have buy chewing gum, you could have bought anything you like to buy. In fact, you could have even come back to use my change to buy food from me. But you decided to return it. So the woman asked, what's your name? I told her my name and all of that. And guess what happened? The woman said to me, because you have done this, anytime you want to eat in this school, always come to me. I will give you food. And guys, from my GSS 1 to my SS3, that's the educational system we have in Nigeria. From GSS 1 to SS3, I was eating free food at the cafeteria. Not because I did anything, but because I returned an extra change. Character. Character. Some of my friends, they see me, they envy me, and they feel like, this guy, you're just enjoying, you get free food and all of that, and blah blah blah. Of course, they call that a level of success. In a way, of course, I've been able to achieve something kind of a little extra. To have somebody giving you food all through your secondary school days is a lot. But what made that happen for me? Character. Character made it happen. So these are systems that guarantee success. Number one is physical. And under physical, I've talked about your health, I've talked about your appearance, and I've talked about character. Number two is mental, mental, mental success systems. What are these systems that guarantee success? Things you can do to make yourself successful, things other people are also doing that when you do, you are sure to succeed in life. Number one, I mentioned physical, and number two is mental. And under mental, I'll be talking about mindset. Mindset, let's start with that. What do you believe? Because I know you want to succeed. I know you want to achieve those goals. But what really do you believe? Your mindset. Where is your mind? Where is your mindset set at? That's the way we say mindset. The way your mind is being set. The way your mind is being set. So what's your mindset about life? What's your mindset about what you want to achieve? This goal you're claiming, this thing you want to achieve, what's your mindset about it? Remember in the scripture talks about David and Goliath. I love to use scripture a lot because I draw so much inspiration from the Bible. So the scripture talks about David and Goliath and how David decided to face Goliath. Now, this is it, guys. David was not the only person in Israel at that time who believed in God. The scripture said, David said, who is this Philistine to defy the armies of the Lord, the armies of Israel? So he said, I am going to face this Goliath. I'm going to face this Philistine because he believed that he had a God who is able to help him, who is able to, help him to bring down the Goliath. But the point is, what did he really believe in to have make him to make that kind of decision? Remember, he had elder brothers, and the scripture made us understand that David's elder brothers were even in the arming school of King Saul. Saul himself could not even face Goliath. But David had a mindset. David had a mindset that, I'm going to face this thing and I'm going to defeat him. I'm going to defeat this Philistine. So the question you want to ask yourself is, what is your mindset? What is your mindset? What is your mindset? What do you believe in? What do you believe in? Because a whole lot of people are holding back themselves by what they believe in. What is holding us back is not really the things we don't have, but the things we believe. In most cases, the things we believe about ourselves, about our situations, about our circumstances. What's your mindset? So, uh, the second part, which is the mental thing now, you want to check on your mindset. These are secrets. These are the systems that guarantee success. People succeed because of the kind of mindset they have. I will say that again. People succeed in life because of the kind of mindset they have. So, what kind of mindset do you have? Could it be that your mindset is that thing that has been limiting you all this while? So, David wasn't the only one in Israel, but David was the only one in Israel who had the mindset to face Goliath. David was not the only one who believed in God in the whole of Israel, but David was the only one who had the mindset to face Goliath. He had the belief both in God and in himself that I'm going to face this Goliath and I'm going to defeat him. So mindset, it's a whole lot when it comes to your mental system that guarantees success. Mental, and I'm talking about mindset. The second thing I'll talk about is emotions. Under the mental. I'm still on number two. Emotions. Your emotions really, really important. I know you want to succeed. I know you want to achieve those goals. But have you checked your emotions? Are you the kind of person who is hot tempered? You get angry unnecessarily, or you are the kind of person who gets so depressed easily. You allow things to get into you because you are going to be tested. That's just the truth. Trials are going to become. A whole lot of things are not going to be easy. On the road to success is not smooth. Road to success is not smooth. There is a lot of ups and downs. There are a lot of ups and downs. There are a lot of entanglement on the way. Your emotions have to be strong and solid. So if you are the type of person who you are easily being influenced by environment, by circumstances, then you've got to check it. You've got to check it. Your emotions. Unfortunately, we read in the scripture about Moses who couldn't get to the promised land. Not because he was not a great leader, but because he couldn't manage his emotions. Moses couldn't get to the promised land because he could not manage his emotions. You don't want your story to be like that. You don't want your story to be like that. Success is what you want. You want to achieve those goals. And you don't want anything, including your emotions, to get in your way of succeeding. So you want to check your emotions. And then the third thing I'll be talking about under the mental thing is capacity building. Capacity building. You've got to build capacity. People succeed in life mentally because of the fact that they build capacity. They build capacity. Trust me, uh, you know, there's a level of strength you need to lift a bucket of water. Then there's another level of strength you need to lift a jerry can of water. And then there's another level of strength you need to probably push a drum of water. So the kind of success you want to achieve will depend on the kind of capacity you need to build. I will say that again. The kind of success you want to achieve will depend, or we largely rely on the kind of, or depend on the kind of capacity you need to build. Depends on the kind of capacity you need to build. So the greater the success, the more the capacity you want to build. The more the capacity. So capacity building. It's really, really, really important. We know about Joseph in the Bible. Joseph is this guy that had dreams, Joseph the dreamer and all of that. But at the later end of Genesis, we started reading about Joseph to be an interpreter of dreams. So how did Joseph the dreamer moved to Joseph the interpreter of dreams? Because you remember he was interpreting dreams. He was interpreting dreams for his fellow prisoners in the prison, and interpretation of dream was what brought him out of prison when he interpreted the dream for Pharaoh, and eventually became a prime minister, and his own dreams now became a reality. So, but the point is this: how did Joseph moved from just being a dreamer to being an interpreter of dreams? Capacity building. Capacity building. You can't remain where you are, and you want to achieve success, and you want to still stay where you are. It doesn't work that way. You can't stay where you are and be thinking of succeeding. and you're thinking, it will just happen. No, it won't just happen. Now, staying where you are, I mean that you can't rely on your old strength for the kind of new level you want to get to, or the kind of new heights you want to attain. Capacity building, you've got to build capacity. This thing you want to achieve, what does it entail? Reach out to people who have done it. What are the things they needed to build? Do you need to get another degree? Do you need to probably take another course on something? Or do you need to enroll in an online course or something? Or do you need to watch some videos? Or do you need to get certain books and read? Or do you need to, whatever it is you need to do, build capacity. That's the point. Build capacity. Build capacity. Capacity building. Your success depends largely on this. Remember, I said the kind of success you want to achieve will determine the kind of capacity you will need to build. The kind of success you want to achieve will determine the kind of capacity you need to build. Really, really important. Really, really important. So, mental system. I've talked about physical, now I'm talking about mental as part of the systems that guarantee success. Success systems, that's the conversation now. Success system. So, mental, that's the second point. And I've talked about mindset, I've talked about emotions and capacity building. Number three things. Remember, I'm sharing on five things, five systems, five, guaranteed systems for success. And the third thing is relational. Relational. Physical, mental, and relational. Relational. Your relationships. I don't know how you want to do it. I've seen this work a number of times. Personally, in my own life, I've enjoyed so much success through relationships. I've enjoyed so much success through relationships. Now, this is what I will start with. This is what I want to say to you. People are doors. People are doors. Some years ago, I wrote an article for a particular unit, and the title of the article I wrote was "People Are Doors." People are doors, and that's just because I realized that the more people you know, the more world of opportunities you open yourself to. The more people you relate with, the more you get to know what is happening in their own world that can be beneficial to your own world. We all live here on earth. Everybody lives here on earth, but we live in different worlds. We live in different worlds. Your world is not my world. Hey, I hope you caught that. Your word is not my word. So, but when we get in relationship together, when we get talking, I open you up to my word. You open me up to your word, and then we see the opportunities that lies in for both of us. So people are doors because they open you up to all manner of things. Both the good parts and the negative parts. People are doors. It depends on the kind of people you meet, depends on the kind of doors that has been opened to you. So, but understand that people are doors and opportunities are everywhere. It all depends on who you know. Opportunities are everywhere. It all depends on who you know. You cannot succeed in life in isolation. You cannot succeed alone. It's not possible. In fact, even your being here on earth, you came through somebody. So that shows that you will always need people in your life. You couldn't have come to the world all by yourself. It took the effort of your parents for you to be here. And it took effort on your mom to give birth to you. So you were here on earth because somebody helped you. Oh, I hope you caught that. You were here because somebody helped you. You didn't just come all by yourself. So you were better through relationships. You were better through relationships. So trust me, you are going to sustain here on earth. You're going to succeed here on earth also through relationships. Opportunities are everywhere. It all depends on who you know. You've got to pay attention to the people in your life. You've got to pay attention to meeting new people. Opportunities are everywhere. It depends on who you know. So who do you know? Who are you relating with? Who are you relating with? This is very, very important. See, what money cannot buy, relationships can afford it. Whatever money cannot buy, relationships can afford it. I've seen that a whole lot of time in my own life and in other people's life. I've seen people do things that literally is not just what money can do. It's because of the kind of network they have. It's kind of network they have. Because sometimes money fails. Oh, trust me. Sometimes money fails. But people, when people are behind you, when people stand with you, you win. Trust me, you win. Because sometimes everything is not just about money. Money is important. We're going to get into that shortly. Money is important actually. However, people are much more important. They are much more important because people will get you what money cannot get you. What money cannot buy, relationships will afford it. Relationships can afford it. What money cannot buy, relationships can afford it. So this is very, very important for you to know. So if I were you, what I need to start thinking is this thing I want to achieve, this goal I want to achieve. Who are the people I need to connect with? Who are the people I need to network with? What are the kind of relationships I need to build? What are the kind of partnerships I need to form? Who are the people I need to start talking to? Who are the people I need to start relating with? Relational. Relational. See, this is so much important. Extremely, extremely important. The scripture says in 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 1, if you read the story of Naaman. Naaman was a great commander. He was well known, a great commander in Syria. In 2 Kings from chapter 5, if you read the whole chapter, it talks about how great Naaman was. However, Naaman was a leper. He had leprosy. And the scripture made us to understand that a particular maid in his house, a girl from Israel, recommended to Naaman that there is a prophet in Israel. If you can meet with this prophet, it's going to help you and you're going to get healed from your leprosy. You're going to get healed of this leprosy. A girl in the house of Naaman who happens to be a maid. But trust me, there is a level of relationship that must have been between the two of them for that girl who is a maid to be able to face a commander and tell him rather the solution to his leprosy. Because normally, if the relationship between them was not great enough, she wouldn't have opened up. As a matter of fact, if the relationship was not so good, she would know what can be of help to the master and she would not even say it. She would not even talk about it. Because, of course, if they have a bad relationship. But that shows how much Naaman has mastered relationships, even with his maid, even with his house girl. That the girl was comfortable enough, that made the girl comfortable enough to open up to Naaman. That this leprosy in your life, I know someone who can get you healed. I know someone who can be of help. So Naaman was healed, not just because he was healed, by the prophet and all of that, but because he had a relationship with his house girl who knows where the solution is. Relationship was the genesis of the healing of Naaman. He was rich, don't forget. He was influential. He was a commander. People respect him. He had a whole lot of influence, but he had leprosy. And with all his wealth, he couldn't solve his leprosy problem until he had a relationship with an house girl who was able to recommend that meet this person. You see how people works now. An house girl recommending him to a prophet in Israel. So people are involved. People are involved. Relationships all along, relationships. So who do you need to know? Who do you need to talk to? Find your network. Start talking to people. Start relating with people. Don't stay in isolation. Don't die in isolation. It's very, very, very important. Relational. So we've talked about physical, we've talked about mental, and now we're talking about relational success systems. And five things, five solid systems that you can build that guarantee success. These are things that other people have done. And as I'm speaking, you know those people in your life. You know those people either from afar that one of or two of these systems was the major factor for their success. Some people became successful because of the physical aspect of it. They are models. Some of them have become models, doing modeling. Some of them are celebrities just because of their physical appearance and all of that. Some people have succeeded greatly because of their mental capacity. Some people have succeeded greatly just because of who they know. Relationships, it works a lot in politics. People have become honorables. People have become senators, not because they have qualifications for it, but because they know somebody, because they have relationships with their people. People trusted them enough to give them the position. Relationships, very important. And the fourth thing I would like to share with us is the financial system. Financial. There's nothing you want to really do here on earth. You will always need some form of financial resource. So, success systems, the number four system that guarantees success is your financial capacity, your financial, uh, you know, the financial aspect of your life. Let me just put it that way. Solomon said in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12, he said, money is a defense. Money is a defense. And that's just the truth of the matter. There are certain things you will need to do. You need money to do it. So you've got to start paying attention to money matters. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19 says, money answereth all things. Money answers everything. Money answers all things. Yes, money is not everything. Yeah. Like people say, money does not buy happiness. But the truth of the matter is, money can buy the things that will give you happiness. Money can buy the things that will give you happiness. Oh, you feel like, oh no, everything is not just about money, it's about this, it's about that. Yes, it's not about money, but those things you're talking about, money can afford them for you. So you want to start paying attention to money matters. You want to start giving attention to how to make money, how to manage the money you have, and how to even multiply what you have. So the idea of making money, managing money, multiplying money has to be of interest to you. You cannot succeed in life without paying attention to your financial, the financial aspect of your life. It's very important. Whether you're getting a job or you are doing something with what you have, you've just got to find a way to make money legally. Now you've got to find a way to make money. Understand how to turn your value into products and services. What do you do? What do you know how to do? How can you package it into products and services that people can pay for, that people can buy? Because people will not just buy value, people will buy packaged value in products and services. So the fact that you can do certain things does not mean that people will just give you money for it. That thing you can do has to be a solution to what they need. Then you package whatever it is you can do into a solution. Into a solution. So if you can make air, for example, people will not just give you money because you can make air. People will give you money because you've been able to package your air making into a business brand. And then you now start, okay, this is what I do. I make air, and then you create a service around it. You create a service around it. So what can you do? What value do you have? How can you turn it into products and services? You have some ideas that you feel like can be of help. People will not just give you money because you have ideas, but people can give you money if you put those ideas into a book, into an ebook or something, and then you sell. People will buy to read, to get your ideas. But you can't just be walking up and down and be like, I'm intelligent, I'm this, I'm that. They won't pay you for that. They will pay you because you're able to turn your value into certain products and services. What can you do? What can you make? What can you create? Package it. I know people do a whole lot of things. People sell all kinds of things. So what can you sell to? Remember the story of the widow who ran to Elisha and said, I don't have anything. The debtors have come. They want to take the children. My husband left so much debt and all of that and blah, blah, blah. And then the prophet said, what do you have in the house? He said, okay, nothing but just a small jar of oil and all of that. And at the later end of the story, the prophet told the woman, he said, go and sell the oil. Go and sell. Make money from it. And from there, pay your debt. Pay your debt. Because money is not going to rain down from heaven. Money is not going to rain down from heaven. Money is going to come to you because you're able to turn whatever it is you have into products and services that people can buy and pay you for. So this is very important. Another thing about your finances is you want to start paying attention to your savings and investments, because it's not just enough to make money. You've got to be able to manage money, and one way to manage what you have is to save. Savings. Remember, it was saving that saved the Egyptian when Joseph was the prime minister. When Pharaoh had that dream, Joseph told Pharaoh, he said, there will be 7 years of plenty, then there will be 7 years of famine. So all we need to do is to save about 20% of whatever it is that we have during those 7 years of plenty, so that we can have something to sustain us for the 7 years of famine. Savings is very important. You are as safe as your savings. I will say that again. You are as safe, SAFE. You are as safe as your savings. That's the way it works. So you've got to save something. I know you want to say, it's not enough, what I have is not even sustainable for me and all of that. Yes, I know. But the truth is, if you cannot save when you are earning just 10, then you cannot save when you start to earn 100 or 1,000. So if you can't save from 10, then you won't be able to save from 100. That's the way it works. So no matter how small, no matter how little, try as much as possible to save something. That's how you manage your income. And then as you save, you are saving for the dry season, for days when things can might be a little bit tough. Then in those days you have something to fall back to. So savings, you've got to have a savings culture. Then investment. So you want to look at how can you turn what you have into multiple things. How can you make it more? How can you make it bigger? How can you make it bigger? So that's where investment comes in. So you want to start thinking, what are the investment options you have? You want to start asking people around, what can I do with this? I have this particular amount, what can I do with it passively to make more money and all of that? You want to start talking about all of those things. It is very, very, very important. So if success is a car, I put it this way: if success is a car, then money is the fuel that drives the car. Money is the fuel that makes the car run. So if success is a car, then money is the fuel. It's very important. So there is no way you want to succeed in life and you are not paying attention to your finances. You've got to. So if you have to get some books to read on finances, please do. If you have to watch more videos on finances, please do. If you need to talk to people on your financial on your financial capacity, on your financial intelligence and all of that, if you need to build more strength, more capacity in that area, please do. Whatever it is you've got to do, give attention, pay attention to your finances. And finally, I will say this: relationship is currency. As much as I talk about money, 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 I know you're thinking about the paper and all of that. Yes, fine, that's it. But relationship is currency. Sometimes what you need is not money, it's people. And the people you have, they're also currency. So start seeing people as currency. Start seeing people as currency. Has it ever happened to you before? You're going somewhere and then you don't have any money on you, but you need to get somewhere. And then somehow, you get to meet somebody that you know, and the person gave you a ride and took you to where you were going. Although you didn't have money to get to where you're going, but you had a relationship that could give you a ride and take you to where you're going. So you didn't spend money, you spent relationship. Does that make sense? So you didn't spend money to get to where you're going, you spent relationship to get to where you're going. So relationship is currency. There are certain things that you may not have money for it, but you can have relationships for it. You can have people that can help you to get those things done. So that's how powerful relationship can be. So all these things are interwoven: physical, mental, relational, financial. All of these things comes together. It comes together. So relationships are currency. Relationship is currency. Relationship is currency. Very, very important. You have to pay attention to that. So pay attention to your finances. I cannot overemphasize that. So success systems, that's what we've been talking about. And I've been talking about 5 systems that I've seen in my own life, I've seen in other people's life. 5 systems that guarantee success, that guarantees the fulfillment of goals, that guarantees the achievement of whatever it is you are aiming at. These systems works every day, every time, and it works for anyone. It works for anyone: physical, mental, relational, financial. And the last thing I'll be sharing on this success system is spiritual. Is spiritual. I've come to realize that people don't pay attention to this part because spiritual, you don't really see it. Like, the word is spiritual, is spirit, so you don't see it physically. And then you don't see God. So there's a way, sometimes if you're not careful, you want to trivialize the God part of it, of course, because you can't say this is where God lives and all of that. You don't see him physically. But trust me, nothing makes sense without God in it. Nothing makes sense without God in it. Nothing makes sense without God in it. The greatest relationship you will ever have is your relationship with God. The greatest relationship you will ever have is your relationship with God. I don't know whatever success it is you're aiming at, whatever goal you're aiming at, whatever it is you want to achieve. I don't know how you want to do it. Without God in it, it is bound to fail. It is bound to fail. The scripture talks about people who were so motivated to build the Tower of Babel. They've done everything they needed to do. And they were just so sure that they are going to achieve this. But there was no God in their heart. They had no regard for God. And because of that, God scattered their language. And unfortunately for them, they were unable to build the Tower of Babel. I don't know whatever it is you want to achieve in life. Without putting the God factor in it, I doubt if you're going to achieve it. Story made us to understand that when Titanic was first, the first trip of Titanic, the I think the engineer or whatever it is, part of the officials for Titanic said even God cannot sink this ship because they were so sure of what they have built. They were so sure of what they have invested in it. He said even God cannot sink this ship. Of course, we all know the end story of what happened to Titanic. On the first voyage, the Titanic ship, you know, collapsed. I don't know what you want to do in life. Without the God factor, it is bound to fail. That's just the truth of the matter. I'm a person of faith. I believe so strongly in God because I've seen what God can do. I've seen what God has done in people's life. I've seen what God has done in my own life too. And I can tell you for a fact that nothing makes sense without God in it. There is no success you want to achieve without the God factor. I doubt if you're going to make anything out of it. I doubt if it's going to work. So that's just the truth of the matter. And the idea of God, the idea of the God factor is not just because God created you and all of that. No, it's just, of course, that's part of it. Let me not say no, that's part of it. But it's also because God holds your future. God holds your future. If I ask you what will happen tomorrow, whatever it is you will tell me is just hope. You're just hoping, okay, fine, this is what will happen tomorrow. You're just trying to, talk out of hope. But God knows your tomorrow already. God has seen your future. He holds your future in his hands. He knows everything about you. So is it not smart? Is it not wise enough to lean on the person who knows my tomorrow, who holds my future? So you need to get this part of it. Your future is in God's hands. And so it only makes sense for you to depend on God. It only makes sense for you to include God in your journey. It only makes sense for you to rely on God. Very important. Very, very, very important. So nothing makes sense without God in it. I can't overemphasize that. There is nothing you want to do. You've got to involve God. There's an emptiness in every human being. Trust me, there's an emptiness in every human being. Sometimes when you achieve this thing you say you want to achieve, you still feel empty. You still feel empty because there's an emptiness that only God can feel. Nothing else can feel it. Trust me. You can't be busy to, no. You can't be so occupied like, okay, I'll just get myself busy, I'll get myself occupied. No. You still feel this emptiness. And only God can fill that emptiness because it's a spiritual thing. That's where you came from. God created you. God is your natural habitat. God is your natural habitat. Everything was created out of something. Fish was created in water. Birds were created in the sky. Man was created from the breath, from the breath of the Almighty. So God is your natural habitat. That's where you came from. And until you are aligned with your natural habitat, there will always be this emptiness in you. So I encourage you today, find your way to God, find your steps back to God. And there's just absolutely nothing you want to do. Trust me, there's absolutely nothing you want to do. If success in life largely depends on who you know, then imagine how super successful you will be if you know God. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. True success is in God, it's not outside God. True success is in God, it's not outside God. So we've been talking about relationship, we've been talking about everything comes down to Him. It can sustain your health, your physical, it can help you with your mind, help you with your capacity building and all of that. God can strengthen you. Your finances can be of help. Relationship, it can bring people into your life. So there's absolutely nothing that God cannot contribute in your life. There's nothing He cannot do. Nothing. So whatever it is you want to think about success, please think about God. Think about God. And if you're a person of faith like me, I want to recommend Jesus. I want to recommend Jesus because that's what I know. That's what has really, really been of help to me. And I know quite a number of people that their success story started with their relationship with God and in the person of Jesus. So I want to encourage you today. Whatever it is you want to achieve, you want to think along these five systems that guarantee success. If you will work with these things, trust me, there is no way you're not going to succeed. Success systems. Five things that makes it happen. Five systems that guarantee success. We started with physical, we talked about mental, then relational, financial, and spiritual. So this is my birthday gift to you. It's a conversation. I believe you've been able to get one or two things. But my greatest joy would be that you walk with these things. Don't just listen. Walk with them. Apply them. Take steps on these things. And trust me, there is no way you're not going to achieve success. So I can't wait to hear your success story. I can't wait to hear how impactful this has been to you and how helpful it has been to you. So, is there something you're working on currently? Start looking at how you can apply these five systems into it. Or is there something you are hoping to achieve or you are looking forward to? Start looking at how you can, put these five systems into to work, how you can apply them into whatever it is you want to do, how you can get them to work for you. And trust me, it will work because it has worked for me and it has worked for a number of other people, and it's going to definitely work for you. So thank you so much once again for joining me on this channel. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm sure you've been blessed. It's my birthday today, so August 18. It's my birthday. Every August 18 is my birthday. So, but this year I just felt, okay, let me just share something from my heart. And I believe you've been really, really encouraged. I believe you've been, you know, sensitized, and I believe you've gotten some information that can be of help. So on this YouTube channel, every now and then I'll be sharing certain things, not necessarily long videos like this, but short videos, something that can just be of help. Transformational content on leadership, on finance, on transformation, life generally, and also about faith, because I'm a person of faith. So definitely, so expect more of these kind of conversations on this channel. So what you want to do is to subscribe to this channel, is to like, is to share, is to recommend this channel to somebody that let's learn together, let's share together, let's grow together, and let's get better together, and let's succeed together. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this conversation. All right, so my name is Shola Adekunle, and greatness is here.